Hi, welcome to the Back to School training with our team's Jules. Today was my kid's first day back at school, and I know everybody else is either already there or they are getting ready to go back. And with back to school, that brings routines, it brings more scheduled, being more scheduled, and for me, it's just a new start. It's a new, fresh start. Fall is always a huge time for Plexus, and we wanted to come together tonight and just give you a few of our tips on how to make fall the best fall yet. So each of us are just going to give about 5 minutes of a particular subject, so make sure you have a pen and paper so you can take notes, and we'll get started. First, we have Holly Jurgen Devers, and she is an Emerald Ambassador, and she's going to talk to you tonight for a few minutes. Holly?
Hey guys, welcome to the call tonight. I wanted to say that first, I want to talk about belief because it is so important in our business. And I'm going to talk about belief not just in the company or in network marketing, but belief in ourselves. So the reason you're on tonight, the reason you're watching this is because you have some sort of desire to work this business, to find some success, to make some money back on your product, or to really see how far you can take this. And so let's think about first, what are you dreaming for with this business? What are your expectations? What are you kind of thinking? So just write that down. You know, what would you like out of this? Just really know what you kind of want to get out of this. And then we want to talk about why you're doing it. So when you go into your why, I know your upline has already talked to you a little bit about your why, but your why needs to be personal, and it needs to be so personal that it makes you cry sometimes. So my why was so strong and is so strong that I really can't even talk about it without crying. So make sure that you kind of realize what your head is got to get wrapped around to see the belief and why you're wanting to continue and to do this business. When we talk about dreaming, whatever your dream is for this business, I want you to dream bigger. And you're like, well, why? Because that is what you need to do. You don't need to just set your bar here. It needs to be way up here. So go ahead and make sure that you're dreaming bigger. A lot of times people say, well, why do I need to have belief? You know, I feel like I'm bothering people, I'm messaging people, or I'm calling people, and I just feel like I'm getting on their nerves, or I'm afraid to post. And all of these things that kind of become like, well, it's all because it's about you. And it's like you're worried about how you're going to affect other people, or people are going to think about you. What you may not realize is that your belief is not strong enough then. So how do you build that belief? One, you need to plug yourself into things like this. You need to plug yourself into your upline. You need to plug yourself into meetings. When they have meetings, go to them. Make sure you're there because you can see what other people are taking, the products, how they're helping them feel. You can see the people that have been successful with the business and what they're doing. Network marketing, if you don't know about network marketing, you definitely need to get your network marketing book because it is one of the smartest business models available out there. You know, a company invests in your success. You can make money at any level. It's a low startup, and it's freedom. Freedom from different health issues, freedom from flexibility of time, opportunity for, you know, freedom of finances. So what you need to do is really get into all of us and with all of us to see what this is about. Because a lot of people come in and they'll just kind of dabble in it, and they'll message a few people and they'll be like, oh, this is not for me, I can't do this. Oh my goodness. And I'll say, how many people did you talk to? About 5. Well, my goodness gracious, that's like nobody. Of course, somebody's not going to join you 5 if you message some 5 people. So go ahead and let us help you. Our team is one of the most amazing teams in the entire company, one of the fastest growing teams. And what they do is they just pass down the information to each one of us. All we're doing is duplicating the information down. But if you're not on these trainings and you're not hearing this stuff and you're not attending meetings and you're not, you know, talking with us, then you're not going to know what to do. And so the likelihood of you being successful is not very good for you if you are not plugging into us and letting us help you. We absolutely want to be invested in you and build your belief, but you've got to let us have the opportunity to do that. So I want to say, you know, we don't ask for your time like a lot of time, but we do want you to know that it's going to take a little bit of time and effort. And you can absolutely work this business, of course, as much as you want or as little as you want. But you've got to figure out how to do it and how to be successful and how to work smarter and not harder. Another thing I want to talk about is belief in yourself. A lot of times, just even from children, as we grow up, and a lot of times maybe our parents or other people that love us really didn't speak life into us. Maybe they, said, you're never going to be successful, or why are you doing that? Or, even with the network marketing company, why are you trying to do network marketing? Or those products don't work. I had my own father said that. He said, those products won't work at a birthday party, embarrassed me to death. And then 13 months later, he was the one saying, Holly, if you don't resign from your job and continue to pursue this, you are crazy. So don't give up on believing in yourself just because some people say that you can't do it, that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you don't know enough people, because I'm telling you, you can if you don't give up. If you have some issues of believing in yourself, you need to get with your upline and just be real with them. That's what we're here for. We pray for each other here on this team. We speak life into each other, and we love on each other. And, all of us are not strong in every area, but together we are strong in different areas, and we help each other. And that is so beneficial. So whatever area you're weak in, let us help you and build you up and keep you strong, because that's what we're here for. And let us show you the way. Let us build your belief and help you along the way. I think that as far as most of my building belief issue, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say about building belief. I don't think there's much more, because I know we all have to go into different things. But I do want to tell you, at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody else is going to believe in you. So you've got to be passionate about this. You've got to find that belief, and you've got to plug in and realize that this is something that is life-changing, and it can help people. And we don't say that lightly, because every one of us on this call have had somebody, our family members, personally changed through health, and all of us have been changed financially. And so if we can do it, you can do it. There's not just one that goes all the way to the top. We all can go all the way to the top. So let us help you, and let us help build your belief, and you plug in and try to build your own belief. So I would like to introduce Melissa Amos. She is an Emerald Ambassador, and she lives in Prattville, Alabama. Melissa, you are up next. Thanks, guys.
Hey, everybody. So tonight I'm just going to be talking about maintaining a good customer base and why it's important and how we can do that. So the first thing I want to talk about is why it's important to maintain a good customer base. Well, the first thing is because it means that we're always introducing the products to other people. If we don't have any customers, then that means that we're not talking about it. So if we're continually sharing and continually talking about these products, we should continue to be obtaining customers. Number two, honestly, because our PV can help with different things throughout the year. We have to be able to maintain a decent PV to be able to obtain, convention credits or leaders retreat credits. That is part of our business. But also as leaders, and, even if you don't have a team yet, your team and the people around you need to be able to see that you can still share these products successfully. So if you already have a team up under you, even if it's 1 or 2 or 3 people, they need to see that your PV is not zero. They need to see that you have no fear about sharing these products with other people, and that you are continually reaching out. But the most important reason that we need to have a good customer base is because customers make the best ambassadors. You think about those ambassadors that are in your organization at this moment, and you think about, most of them probably started out as customers. There are very few of us in this organization in Plexus that started out and just dove in head first. Now, there were some people that did, and that is fantastic, and they've done great with that. But a lot of people want to test the waters first and want to make sure that these products actually work for them. I was one of those people. I did not want to dive in with the business right away. I wanted to make sure that these products were going to work for me. And so I fell in love with the products and then decided to become an ambassador. So we have to make sure that our customers are happy, that they love the products, And then, eventually a lot of them will turn over to ambassadors simply because it's a cheaper price, even if they don't want to work at the business. And then when they turn to ambassadors, they're going to be consistent with their products because they already know that they love them. So those are the reasons why it's important to maintain a good customer base. But let me talk to you now, and most importantly, about how to maintain that strong customer base. So the first way that we can do that is continually reaching out. I don't care what level we are in this business, we absolutely have to continue to reach out to new people. And that includes cold messaging. With that, and number 2 on this list that I have is be aware and listen to those around us. Now, when I say that, you're like, be aware. Why does that have anything to do with maintaining a customer base? Because people are going to be around you in person, and you're going to see some things on Facebook, and people are desperate for these products. They may not know it, but they're desperate for these products. I see it all the time, even in person or on social media. I'm so tired. I am, I'm exhausted. I'm not sleeping at all at night. Any of that. I've got so much inflammation in my knees, I can't hardly get up. Or I'm struggling with this autoimmune disease and I can't hardly function. I see it all the time on social media. I hear it all the time around me. And you have got to be aware of your surroundings and aware of what people are saying on your social media. And you've got to reach out to those people. I mean, y'all, they want something that is going to help them. They may not think that Plexus is the answer right away, but I'm telling you, do not be afraid to reach out to those people. Those people want these products. And that's what it's all about in maintaining a customer base, is you got to continually reach out. You also have to post and share publicly. If you're not posting, guys, you're really not tapping into much advertisement. Your Facebook page is free. Your Facebook page is free advertisement. And if you're not using that, and I understand that some of you are like, you know what, I don't want to annoy people. Okay, well, how much belief, just like what Holly just talked about, how much belief do you have in the products? Do you believe they really work? Because if you believe they really work, you're not going to stop telling people about it. So you have to post and you have to share publicly. Here's the thing. Most people don't see all of your posts. They might see one post. They might see none of your posts. So if you're posting one time a day, guess what? Your audience is not seeing very much of what you have to say. So if you're only posting about, come join my team, that's all they're seeing. They're not seeing about how great the Probio 5 is for your gut health and how it can help with gastrointestinal issues. They're not seeing how, the Ease and the Ease cream are helping significantly with inflammation. They're not seeing those things because you're not talking about it. So you still have to post publicly. I'm telling you, if you will post at least 3 times a day for a month, you will see some significant increase in people contacting you about these products. It's just how it works. People want them. They need them. The number 4 thing that I would say, and this is probably one of the biggest things in maintaining a really strong customer base, is follow up. Y'all, if you're not following up with your customers, you're going to lose them. They're going to go away. Because a lot of customers, number 1, they're not very confident in how they take the products at the beginning. It doesn't matter how many times you tell them, they're going to quit. They're going to, be inconsistent. You've got to check in with these people regularly, and you've got to make sure that they're taking their products correctly. And the last thing on my list, and it kind of goes with following up, is knowing how to troubleshoot with your customers. You have got to know enough. I call it know enough to be dangerous, but you have got to know enough about these products that you know how what the different ways to take them, what you can change up, what you can do differently, and you've got to be able to do these with your customers. So those are the main things that I would say. Y'all, maintaining a good customer base is crucial in this business. There is no one on this call tonight, Jules, that cannot maintain a good customer base. We all continue to talk about it because we believe in it and we know that it helps other people. So I hope that helps you a little bit in maintaining a good customer base for yourself. Next up tonight is going to be Brooke, and she is an Emerald Ambassador and lives in Birmingham. Take it away.
All right. Okay, so tonight I am going to discuss how to add level 1s and why that is important. And I feel like this is kind of one of the most trained aspects of the call tonight. And you really can't hear enough about this because it is so incredibly important for you to add and continue to add no matter what level you are. So if you are a brand new ambassador, this is really for you. If you are a diamond ambassador, this is still for you. So this is all the way across the board, how to add level ones and why it's important. I have 3 points on how to add level ones. Okay, and again, we've all been trained on this. These are going to be a little bit outside of the box, maybe what you haven't heard so frequently. Number one is the whole tried and true. You have to have the perfect balance between posting and cold messaging. We've all heard that. We've all talked about that. But I have some people that say, you know what, I post all the time. Well, are you cold messaging? Well, no, not really. I'm just kind of waiting for them to come to me. And then vice versa. I'm sending out 30 cold messages, in a night, or 20 cold messages in a night, and I'm not getting anything. Well, okay. Well, when they're curious to see, okay, well, let me see what this is all about, and they go to your Facebook wall, what do they see? Do they see testimonies and how much and how passionate you are about this business? Or do they see, just stuff about your kids or just articles and which all that's great, but they need to see some Plexus mixed in there. So you have to have a balance of the two in order to be able to add. And that goes hand in hand with what Melissa talked about with customers as well as level one ambassadors. Okay, so the real meat of this is kind of where I feel like that you can kind of really catch on to people is point number 2. When recruiting, I want you all to go over the safety and the security of this business. I feel like when you do that first, when you initiate that conversation and you put out there that, hey, this business, you are not going to get trapped. This is not something that you are going to buy a whole bunch of inventory and have to, put out a mortgage or what, to pay for it. This is something that's very secure. And is very easy for you to, number one, make money. But if you don't make money, this is something that you can pull out of if you needed to. Just to know that there's security in this. And honestly, that is why I joined. I was a part-time teacher, and I didn't tell my husband that I was joining. And, I was just like, Rebecca, I can't do this if you're going to hold me to something for 3, 4, 5 months if I'm not producing. And then, when I found out how incredibly secure this business was, I felt comfortable to share this business with my friends and family because I know that I was not going to tie them into a financial burden. And so that security alone just allows me, to share this business so much more and to recruit so much better. And so I feel like if you are presenting these people with the options of how to buy, and then you go over the security of this business and, buying as wholesale ambassador, I feel like they're more inclined to listen to you and not to shut you down than if you were to leave that at the very end and they've got the whole time going on. You all know how negative connotations we have with network marketing. Everybody thinks it. Oh, you're going to trap me. Oh, and that's all they're hearing as you're talking. That's it. But if we'll get to that first and get to that security feature first, I feel like they're more inclined to open up their minds to the possibility of, okay, well, maybe I do need to join as an ambassador. Maybe this is safe. And point number 3 that I have, and this is a good one. This one was one that I have really held on to since day one. You have to assume that your Facebook audience sees other people's Plexus posts. You have to assume that. You have to assume that they see other people posting, they see your friends posting, and they see about Plexus somewhere else. What separates you? What separates you apart from other people? What draws them to you? They need to be attracted to you and to your business. They are going to fall in love with the products. They are already zoned in on, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm liking Plexus. I have like 5 or 6 people that are posting about Plexus. You hear it all the time. Oh, I see Plexus everywhere. I see Plexus everywhere. Well, it's your job. If we're going to recruit these ambassadors, if you're going to personally recruit them, it is your job to get them attracted to you. Now, how can you do that? Make sure you are varying up your posts. Make sure you cover all the products so they do fall in love with Plexus, because that is the first and foremost, what we want from them. We want them to fall in love with this business and these products. But you can vary up your post, post about the products, post about your business, post about your upline, how incredible of an upline we have. Post about that. Post about team dinners when you have them. Post about events when you go to them. Your workouts. If you're working out and you're active and life is great and you're out there, you're mixed in with the crowd. They want to see that. They want to see that they are joining on someone's team that is out there, that is involved, that is active, that is a product of the product, and honestly has a good time. So make sure that when you are recruiting these people, that you are selling yourself as well. So make sure you do that in your post while you're out on the town. Make sure you have, your Plexus gear on, but just make sure that you draw yourself out there and you put yourself out there. I really feel like that can separate you. So that is how to add level ones. Why is it important? Why is it important for you to add level ones? Long-term stability with this business is huge, y'all. It requires being why. That requires you to, add as many level ones as you can. It's so important as a jewel to have, quite a few level ones. I'm not going to attach a number to it because we don't want to, compare our journey to anyone else's. But it's so incredibly important for you to be why, and that requires you to just continue add. I really love this quote. Julia says it best. Customers make money, but ambassadors give you wealth. And I think that is so huge. So if you're ever kind of on that fence, okay, customers are ambassadors every day. Level one ambassadors every day. You always want to have the mentality of going silver every single month. And I will tell you guys, if you are just starting out, you need to have the mentality that I had. I said to myself, number one, I will go gold. But number two, I'm going to go gold all on my own. I'm going to get these 20 people, these 20 level ones, and I'm going to make it happen myself. And anyone that happens under me is just extra. So if you have that mentality, you're going to have plenty level ones. You're going to be great. You're going to be good to go. And hopefully these tips helped you, and you can get out there and continue recruiting. Next, we have a diamond ambassador on our team, Miss Lindsay Russell. So welcome her.
Okay, guys. I can talk to you about personal growth. And this is one of my favorite things, really, that I've gotten kind of to grow in since Plexus. Honestly, we have so many different ways that we can grow in. I'm just going to kind of break down about why it's important and then different ways where we can. Honestly, personal growth is not just something that Plexus is saying of. There are lots and lots of books out there that talk about this. And honestly, I was not really aware of all this before Plexus. It's just one of these things that's kind of like the icing on the cake. I want to read to you because you're probably like, what do you mean like personal development, personal growth? I want to talk to you a little bit. I've got tons of little notes jotted down, so just bear with me. When I say personal growth, this is what I want you to think about. It's just depending on where you are in life. But to discover your purpose, you need to grow in self-awareness. To discover, to become a better human being, we need to grow in character. To advance your career, we need to grow in our skills. We'll talk a little bit about that. To be a better spouse or parent, we need to grow in relationships. To reach your financial goals, you need to grow in your knowledge about money. And to enrich your soul, you need to grow spiritually. So personal growth is, again, not just a Plexus thing. This is a lifelong learning mentality that we've just gotten to. This is just an extra thing in Plexus that we get to have a part of. Okay, why personal growth? If you want to reach your potential and be the person you were created to be, you must do more than just experience life. Okay, and just hope that you'll just learn along the way. You have to be intentional. It's one of my favorite words. You have to be intentional in all areas. Okay, and the opposite of this guys, and I know that you probably see these kind of people all the time. They just kind of run stagnant. They're just kind of cruising along, coasting, kind of in a rut, and just kind of getting by. And honestly, I was like that before Plexus. I didn't realize I was, but I was just kind of in survival mode, you know. Well, when you really tap into personal growth, you're really expanding and growing yourself, and you're tapping into all these other things that you may not even have known about yourself or about other people. So it's so much fun just to see yourself stretch and see what all you had in you that you may have not have known before. I want to read, and again, bear with me because I've got some little dog ears on my book, but just the difference between people that are living intentionally and people that are just having accidental growth, just thinking it's going to happen. People with accidental growth plan to start tomorrow. People with intentional growth insist on starting today. Accidental growth, I'll read those first and then read the intentional beside it. Waits for growth to come versus takes complete responsibility to grow. Accidental learns only from mistakes. Intentional often learns before mistakes. I love that one. Accidental depends on good luck, where intentional relies on hard work. Quits early and often versus perseveres long and hard. Falls into bad habits or fights for good habits. I love that one. Talks big or follows through. That's a good one. Plays it safe or actually takes risks. Thinks like a victim or thinks like a learner. Accidental growth, people mentality either relies on talent or relies on character. Stops learning after graduation or never stops growing. So just a little bit about why we want to be an intentional learner and why we want to focus on personal growth. Another one is people want to improve their circumstances, but they're not always committed to doing the work that prevails. And we don't want to be those people that just remain stagnant, just coast along. So I want to ask you a question that I love that I got from this book is, what would you do or what would you try in life if you knew you couldn't fail? Okay, that could kind of start your wheels starting to grow about, okay, what do I need to focus on? What do I need to think about? How can I just expand myself bigger? Okay, and then a third reason of why it's so important is because you have to fill yourself up, especially if you have a team and you're a leader. If you have one person on your team, you're a leader. If you have one customer, you're a leader. You're constantly having to fill yourself up so you can pour into others. So those are just a few reasons why. And honestly, one of the best, my team here is going to say this all the time, one of the best ways that you can learn is by teaching others. So if you're constantly getting filled, and then it's just going to come out of you. It's just natural. Some reasons that people just don't pour into themselves and don't really focus on personal growth, they just assume it's going to happen. Just like what we talked about, they just think it's just going to happen and not intentional about it. They feel like they don't know enough to even start. They think they don't have enough time. That's a big one. They think that maybe there's a mindset thing they have an issue with, like they're afraid of certain things, and that's a big, big, big issue. The personal growth is your mindset. We'll talk about that some more. And honestly, when you talk about your mindset, we really think about, like, people have so many fears, and I think this is one of the greatest things that I've enjoyed is just in personal growth is just people on my team get to kind of figure out what they're nervous about, what they're fearful of, and see them fight through that and seeing all the accomplishments because of that. So we all have fears. We definitely do, but we all have faith too. So it just depends on which one you're going to starve and which one you're going to feed. So, okay, I want to talk to you just about a few potential areas to grow in. Just a few, guys. I just jotted down a few that I've grown in since Plexus, okay, just to kind of get your minds going. Mindset, character, relationships, learn boundaries, time freedom, time management, attitude, dealing with others, leading others, dealing with different personalities, recognizing self-strengths and weaknesses, recognizing those things in others, recognizing my tendencies and just my disciplines. And then just on the skill side, I've never done anything like this before Plexus. I never done any kind of network marketing, so all this was really new to me about just sales and that kind of stuff. Objections, dealing with objections, time management. Again, I think I have it on here twice. Social media, like learning all the neat little things about social media. Product information. Oh my goodness, that's a whole different subject. There's so much about our health and product information. How to recruit people to this business, the different skills that you can learn with following up, closing. There's just a few things learned in my 19, 20 months, ways that I've grown. And I know that you probably are thinking about all these different ways that you've grown too. Okay, so we've listed the areas of growing, kind of why it's important. And now this is just basic stuff. How do I grow? How do I really focus and how do I really give my time into this personal growth? Y'all, we have one of the best teams, like Holly said a little while ago, in Plexus. There are literally hundreds of recorded calls like this, things that you can look on YouTube and listen to. There are so many great trainings that are already recorded, but then live ones that you can get on all the time. I mean, like several a week, guys. Tons of great product information. I know that I'm doing this on my team page and Julia's doing it right now, but just figure out one product today that you want to look into. Find one ingredient a day and just dig into it. Spend a few minutes, set your timer, and just learn about that one product. Learn about the health issues that can be benefited because of this product, things like that. Just one a day. Another thing that how you can grow events, getting to events, getting around like-minded people. My pastor always says, if you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And I think that is so true. Getting around people that get the vision like you do, brainstorming ideas with them. That's one of my favorite things is to get with my team and sidelines and just kind of piggyback ideas off of each other. I love that. Books, I cannot tell you enough how important that is. Books, getting in a little book club or a little book group with your team. This is kind of different, but I think it's super, super important. Any kind of personality or spiritual gifts assessment or a test like that is super important to know yourself, because not only does it help you learn yourself, you're learning how to see things in other people and in your team. And so you're bringing out those strengths and weaknesses in them. So take some time. It may sound cheesy, but take some time to do a personality test, do a spiritual gifts test, do any kind of little self-awareness thing like that. And then this is how you can grow too, getting plugged into your team, whether that's just your team. If you don't have a team yet, get involved with, like a volunteer, somewhere you can volunteer, somewhere you can serve. Getting around people and seeing how you deal with people can really show you a lot about yourself and where you need to grow. And then, of course, you can take that information you learn about yourself and plug it into your Plexus team and your Plexus organization. So, and then how you can deal with your mindset too. That's kind of like what we talked about the quizzes and self-assessment, things like that. And I wanted to read one more thing, because we all want to, okay, how, but when do I do all this? When do I read all these books? When do I listen to all these calls? Guys, this is you're going to get out what you put into this, okay? So you've got to figure out the time of day. You can listen to YouTubes while you're doing laundry, while you're cooking dinner. You can listen to recorded calls while you're driving back and forth to work. I constantly have something in my car going. You don't have to spend a lot of money, y'all. We have so many free things available. But if you do want to buy, there's great tapes. Books on CDs, not tapes. But there's great books on audio. Kindle, if you got your Kindle, you can listen to things there too, read things there too. So you don't have to spend a ton of money to do this, but get involved in something. Get somebody, some accountability to help you with it. I want to read this about time though, because I think that's one excuse that people really, really use a lot of. It says, rework your calendar so you have an appointment with yourself for personal growth every day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. You may be thinking, what? I don't have time for that. And that's probably true. I love that he says that. Do it anyway. If you want to succeed, you need to do whatever it takes. Get up an hour early, stay up an hour later, give up your lunch hour, put in extra time on the weekends. If you don't, you'll have to prepare to give up your dreams and any hope of reaching your potential. So that question I asked you a little while ago, what would you do in life or try in life if you knew you could make it, if you knew you wouldn't fail? think about that and then put it into that perspective. Put in extra time. If you don't, you'll have to prepare to give up your dreams and any hope of reaching your potential. So that's just a little bit about personal growth. And I'd love to answer any questions that you guys have or any book ideas that you may need. So Rita, who is my big and alpha gam, and she's an Emerald Ambassador, she is coming up next.
Hey guys, so I have excuses, and this is my favorite and least favorite topic at the same time because I make them and I hear them every day. And I'm just going to be real honest. I'm a very blunt person, and we're going to get down to the nitty gritty here. When you join this company, this is your company. And when you pay $34.95 to join, it is your company. Your success or your failure is on your shoulders. It's not your upline's fault. It's not your downline's fault. It's not XYZ. It is your fault or your success. So, when you join this and when, if you have big dreams and you join this for a reason, you wanted to start working the business for a reason, why in the world would you just say, let me do a little bit here and there? You really think that you're going to be successful when you do that? No, you have to make this a priority. There's two types of people in this business. There are people who work it and make it to the top eventually, or there are people who make excuses and just piddle around or quit, honestly. And I think the reason we make excuses is because we are afraid. We are afraid to fail at this. And when we make excuses, we're giving ourselves an out. Like, for example, I have 3 kids. I work full time. Okay, well, if I'm not successful at this, there's my answer. It's not because I didn't work it. It's because I have kids and I work full time. No, that is not it. It's because I didn't put in the effort that I needed to put in. I didn't make this a priority. But you know what? I do have 3 kids and I do work full time. And here I sit at Emerald. And so it can happen. Everybody on this call has the exact same compensation plan as we do. Everybody on this call right now that's leading this has made it to a jewel level. We all are busy. Rebecca still works full time too. We all have kids. It's because we made this a priority and we did what it took. We did something every single day to make it happen. And so when you're making excuses, my favorite is I don't have time. Who has time for this? Does anybody have a lot of spare time? No, nobody has extra time. But you know what? You have the same amount of time as I have every single day, 24 hours. So when you don't plan your time and you just let it get away from you, no, you're not going to have time for this. That's why you have to schedule it. I get up an hour before my kids get up, and I work my business then. I stay up later. Sometimes it's an hour. Sometimes it's really late. I've become a morning person and a night person. But it's going to be worth it until I get Diamond. So you are going to be the one that has to make the decision of what to do. I hear people say all the time, well, you just joined at the right time. You're just in the right place. You just got lucky. There is no luck involved in this whatsoever. And honestly, there was no skill involved in this when I first started. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I knew I wanted it and I saw the opportunity and I knew the products worked. So I knew that there was a chance that I could be successful at this. And I also, in my mind, have my why. I want to be debt free, like no mortgage, no anything. I want to be able to fund a mission. And when your why is big enough and you are trying, you will make it. Your why has to be big enough to drive you. If you just want to make $500 a month, that's fabulous, good. But that's all you're going to make if that's your goal. If you want to go all the way to the top, and let's say, you're reaching out to 10 people and you're not really getting any feedback. You're posting once a day. You're not really getting any feedback. You don't lower your expectations with this. You increase your activity and you quit making excuses for yourself. When you make this a priority and you devote time every day with this, it starts to grow and it starts to build and you start honestly requiring a little more time. I know when I start making excuses, well, it's summertime, I'm home with my kids, blah, 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 blah. My business doesn't grow during those times when I'm making excuses, and I know that it's my fault. If you don't have time for this, there's options out there for you. Number 1, plan your day. Number 2, you can get the Buffer app. I can't do stuff at work from my computer. I have my Buffer app that I can load things throughout the day, and that helps me. I would write down your list of excuses and mark through them or figure out a way to make it happen with those. If it's your time, again, what TV shows are you watching? What are your time wasters? Are you scrolling on Facebook? Are you on Pinterest? I never get on Pinterest anymore. I was the queen of Pinterest before. I had boards everywhere for every birthday party. You know what? Just throwing this out there. My daughter has a birthday party this month in like 3 weeks. Do you know what I've done? I'm not saying that's fabulous, but it doesn't consume me anymore. Is my house ever clean? No, not unless I get somebody to clean it for me, and I can afford it now. But it's not a priority right now. When I get, where I want to be financially, maybe I can take off a little bit more and clean my own house, but for right now, I have made my list of priorities. And, when I get up in the morning and I spend time with God, that's my number one. Then I start working my Plexus business. Do I miss out on things sometimes? Yeah, probably. Sometimes when, everybody's going to do something super fun and, right before we go in to eat, I'm answering a call real quick for a customer. And you know what? It's okay. My husband understands. He has the same vision that I do. But you know what? There are people who have 11 children that are diamond with this, who work full time. Ellen worked the entire time until she hit diamond, and she had small twins. Julia has 4 kids. Has been homeschooling this whole time. Like, we all have stuff to do. So for me, what I want to get across to you is quit making excuses. You can have this opportunity. You can have this amazing compensation plan if you just do it. That's it. If you fail at this, you will be exactly where you are right now. So you literally have nothing to lose. So there's my very blunt little response there. And Rebecca Williams is up next. She's from Birmingham, Alabama. And I'll let you have it, girl.
Hey. I want to encourage you guys on your journey tonight. I just have 3 topics that I want to talk to you about. And these are some things that I have personally struggled with and some things I've seen my team struggle with. And so I just kind of want to share a few of these. The first thing is, don't compare yourself to others. You have heard each one of us say this, but I want to tell you that if you start comparing yourself to others, it can be paralyzing. And I say that from experience, because when I got started, I started with Julia and Lindsay, and I would watch their teams explode, and I would sit back and say, oh, well, I have 3 ambassadors. So, if I had a team like Julia with 100 people, or I would say, well, I wouldn't view myself as a leader. I would think, well, when I get a bigger team, I will do this. When I get a bigger team, I will create a team page. Well, guys, I want you to know, and you've heard everyone else say this, if you have 1 customer or 1 ambassador, you are a leader. And like Rita said, this is your business, and you have to take the responsibility for that and own it, and to own the fact that this is your business and you're responsible for growing your business. So I just encourage you to not compare yourself to others. Put those blinders on and work your little heart out, because it is possible. When I stopped comparing, that I don't add 100 people every day to my team, but I realized that I was doing the best that Rebecca could do. My team really, and my confidence, my team began to grow, and I began to grow as a leader. So I just say, or I challenge you to not compare yourself to others. Another thing that I hear is, I don't have time. Well, I don't have time. None of these ladies on this call have time. Like Rita said, I have 3 kids. I work full time. Last year I was pregnant. My father was dying. Like, I could literally give you every excuse in the book why I don't have time. But find time. This is important. If you will find the time to live like no other today, you can live like no other tomorrow. So I challenge you. For me, it was cutting out an hour and a half of TV, my veg time. And some people think that's crazy and they're not willing to do that. And that's fine. You don't have to do that. But you can look at your calendar and say, okay, I am willing to give up X. And so whatever you can look at in your day that is not productive, then if you will take a 30-minute chunk, or if you're just getting started, 15 minutes. Like, it doesn't have to be a long period of time, but if you will commit a set amount of time. And, at first for me, it was more, okay, I'll take 2 hours on a Sunday, but commit a chunk of time to, train yourself to go ahead and set up your buffer, to just work smarter, not harder. Plan your week. And that's something you've heard all of us say, but it is so very, very important for your success. And the third thing I want to tell you is be proud of where you are. If you haven't even achieved a rank yet, but you have made a paycheck from Plexus, that's awesome. If you are a silver ambassador, that's huge. I want you to be proud of where you are. I think this goes back to comparing yourself to others. I know that our team is amazing. I know that our team, all of our entire team, has grown crazy fast. And that leaves us in a position to say, oh, well, I'm not growing as fast as Rita. I'm not growing as fast as Melissa. Well, guys, if you are making money and you are helping your family, you should be proud. And if you're bringing $500 a month and that's changing your family's life, that's amazing. So I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in, I have to be X rank, we forget to stop and be thankful and be proud of where we are. So I just encourage you to just take a moment and thank God today for the blessing that He has brought to you and for where you are in this journey. So that is all I have for you. And I just am thankful that you're on this journey with us. I will turn this over to Julia.
Hi. Okay, so I'm back, and I'm so excited. I don't know about you, but the last 30, 40 minutes has pumped me up, and I don't get a lot of chances to listen to everyone, but I think I'm in a unique position probably because if you're watching this, maybe you don't know everyone on this call, but I have gotten to actually watch everybody's growth. I've known most of these girls before Plexus, all but Brooke actually, before Plexus, and it just makes, I'm like a proud mom. Not that I'm their mom, but I'm going to say I'm going away pumped because I will be very transparent. First day of school today, I was drained. If you know me, I was emotionally drained. And I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, I'm trying to get back into this routine. And like we said, that's why we wanted to have this call tonight, to help you get into a routine, help you, give you points on how to have a successful fall. So I hope you have been just encouraged and you are going to take away great tips just as I'm going to tonight. But I'm going to end it with, I was going to talk about duplication because I truly believe that duplication is the key to success. I am an action person. I believe action breeds success. Action gives results. And so I like to give my team action steps. And as I was kind of researching today about duplication, I came across something on one of the Jewel pages. And so I don't want to take credit for it, but I really do love it. And I think it really it takes everything we've talked about tonight and kind of just puts in a cute little way that maybe you can go away and remember it. And, the reason I love it is because, often some of us on this team, we're on the leaders board and or we're ranking up, and it never fails. I get that message in my inbox more than once, normally 2-3 times every time. Julia, what are you doing? What are you doing that I'm not doing? What's your magic? Tell me your secret. They always want to know my secret. They want to know what's the magic thing that they don't know. And guys, there's no magic. I love to say, this business can be hard. There's some hard days, but this business is so simple. So the teacher in me loves an acrostic. So if you have a pen and paper, I want you to write magic on your piece of paper. And I'm going to go through each of those letters really quick and just kind of go over some action steps that's going to share our magic with you. So M is make a new list. I know if I could see all of you, I could say who has a list, and most of you would raise your hands. We love making lists. It's the first thing I did. Because I'll tell you, when I first started, all I did, whatever my upline told me to do, I did it. And I succeeded. And now I just not that I'm telling people what to do, but I share with them how I did it. And you look on this call, and these 6 girls are sitting here because they followed the lead of our leaders. Nothing I did. It's just simple duplication. So the number one thing is make a list. We like to say a hundreds list of anyone you know that either could use these products or could use this business, or both. I believe everyone has an influence over at least 100 people that could use these products or use this business. But I want to make 5 lists tonight, and we're kind of digging a little deeper. I want you to make a list not only of your prospects, but I want you to make a list of your current ambassadors. I want you to make a list of your current customers. I want you to make a list of your customers who are no longer your customers. Those that aren't taking the products anymore. You can look in your back office for that one. Make a list of your inactive ambassadors. We like to call them white lines. And if you're brand new, maybe you don't have those last 2. But I know some of you seasoned ambassadors, you have a long list of inactives and old customers. And I want you to have that list for this fall because it's going to get you organized, and we're going to put some action steps behind those lists. So we have our list. That's our M. And then we have our A. A is approach everyone. We've heard it tonight. Brooke, to me, gave me ideas that I didn't even have. So, and Melissa did a great job of showing us, of how to maintain our customer base and the importance of that. So, we have to approach everyone. You've got to tell everyone about Plexus, because I can promise you, if you don't tell them, someone else is going to tell them. If they're special enough to be on your chicken list, I can assure you they're special enough to be on someone else's chicken list. So I always have the rule, pick up the phone. If you have another phone number, call them. If you normally message them through Facebook, message them. If you have their email address, email them. But this fall, you have got to contact everyone on your list. And even your old customers, guys, and your old ambassadors. And the more I'm in this business, the more I'm seeing old customers of these people who weren't real taken care of, someone else approaching them saying, hey, why don't you give it another try? So you want to stay in contact with everyone. So make sure you're approaching everyone. I can't tell you if your call messages, it might be crickets for months, guys. It might be. I can't promise you they're going to join your team or buy from you. But I can assure you, if you don't reach out to them, they'll never join your team. If you're not posting consistently on Facebook, they're never going to buy from you. Because how are they going to know to? So that's our A. Then we have G. I love G. This is a great action step. It is get on 3-way calls. 3-way calls will change your business. This is not something I did it from the very beginning. I didn't really know what a 3-way call is. All a 3-way call is for you, your immediate upline, and either your prospect, a new ambassador, maybe an old ambassador, maybe someone that's on your team and just not real plugged in, maybe an old customer, or maybe a customer you have right now. It just gives you another line of support. Get on 3-way calls. It has changed my business, and I can tell you, I want to challenge you the next 6 weeks. So I'm not good at math. So from now to mid-October, or into September, I want you to make as many 3-way calls as you can fit into your schedule, which is going to take some of these time tips that we've been given today. But I want your upline to just have a full calendar, because they're like, oh, one more person asked me for a 3-way call. So I would be thrilled if that was my problem, because I know 3-way calls breeds results. And you might wonder, what to do on the 3-way call. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. So get on 3-way calls. Then I. So we have our MAGI. I is initiate systems for duplication. Now, this is where we come in. Duplication is very important. If I'm doing all this work, but Rita and Lindsay and Rebecca aren't, my team's not going to continue to grow. You cannot get to a jewel level on your own. Yes, you can maybe get to gold, but past that, it's really hard. So you have to duplicate. So you've got to come up with a system that works for you. For our team, 5-3-1 has been our system, guys. 5-3-1, and if you don't know what 5-3-1 is, it's contact 5 people a day, follow up with 3, train 1. Y'all, it's been proven. It's simple. It works. I love 5-3-1. I am a very visual learner. I love graphics. So that's part of my duplication process. When someone signs up a new ambassador, I have a little graphic I made it has 7 steps to what to follow when you sign up as an ambassador. I shoot that to them real quick in a message. I have 3-way calls. Like I was talking about the 3-way calls. You don't know what to do? Well, if you message me, I'll shoot you a graphic that's going to give you 5 questions to ask in your 3-way calls. So I'm just very visual. I like to have those quick things. How to use triplex. I have a graphic. I can shoot it to you. Those are very simple things that you can save on your phone, you can save on your computer, you can share with your team, and you can duplicate. Our team has a Dropbox file or Google Docs. We're trying to get it all into that of, when you sign an ambassador, here's everything. Oh, my ambassador, product information. Here's everything. We're really setting up for key, easy duplication. But just remember, keep it simple because people will duplicate the simple things. And also remember, I know we're talking about initiating systems, but if you're brand new, just remember, I think Lindsay loves to say this, start out like you can hold out. You can't be everything to all people. So the sooner, I love I think it's John Maxwell's that says good leaders create more leaders. They don't create followers. Each of these girls on this team, they do their own thing now. They do their own Zoom calls. They do their own boot camps. That's huge for my duplication is boot camps because I've created leaders. You want to create leaders. So just remember that as you're duplicating. And then the last thing is C, and that's continue with consistency. And we've talked about this tonight, guys. Consistency is key. This can be hard. We all get busy. We all have, life happens. We have babies. We have deaths in our family. We have vacations. We have school starting. But stay consistent. This business, you can post consistently. You can reach out to people consistently. If you have a team page, you need to be posting on there every day. People are watching you. They're watching you to see. They're waiting for you to just stop. They're waiting for this to just to say, oh, forget it. I'm not doing the Plexus anymore. Because in their mind, they think this is a fad. Your team is watching you to see what you're doing because they're going to duplicate what you're doing. So you have to stay consistent. Again, this is a proven method. We've said it a few times. We have an amazing team all the way up. I know all the way up to Jen Hawkins on my upline. Amazing. All jewels. Y'all, this has been proven. Just reach out to people, follow up with people, train, and believe in the products. And, that's the magic. That right there is the magic. And, it's not a secret. It's very simple and it's very, duplicatable. So thank y'all all so much for coming tonight. I hope that we didn't overload you with too much information. I think it was just a perfect amount of nuggets in each little area. And maybe we can even look into everybody doing like an in-depth training on their topic. But thank y'all. I hope y'all all have a great first of the year. And I'm looking forward to growing our teams this fall. Bye, y'all.